The little town of Mount Airy might be home to one or two famous sons, such as Ang and Chang, the original Siamese twins, and of course, Andy Griffith. But it is perhaps more widely represented by another local celebrity, the world's premier white granite. Mount Airy is the home of North Carolina Granite Corporation.
North Carolina Granite has been in continuous operation since 1889. It was started by a company called Thomas Woodruff and Sons out of Greensboro, North Carolina, who had a contract to build something connected with the railroad from Greensboro to Mount Airy. They needed a source of raw rock product for projects on the railroad. They heard about a 40-acre exposed rock in this area and came up, visited, looked at it, and they actually purchased the land and started extracting stone to be used on the railroad. It is considered to be the world's largest open-face granite quarry. There may be larger quarries, gold mines, coal mines, but as far as granite quarries, this is considered to be the world's largest open-face granite quarry.
The process of extracting the stone is a testament to the power of water, with a big boost from the latest technology.
We use a machine called a water jet that actually cuts a slot in the stone about 2.5 inches wide up to 21 feet deep. Once that process is done, we drop a diamond wire down in those slots that we have cut, attach that to a diamond wire saw that rotates that wire, plus slowly pulls it along the bottom, which frees that mass from the mother mass.
The brute force of explosives is still used, but even that is much more sophisticated than a few sticks of dynamite.
Once we've got that loaf sitting there free from the quarry, we bring in our drills. We drill vertically 1.25 inch holes, roughly in the size of the blocks that we want, which are basically 10 foot by 5 foot. We use primacord, which is an explosive material. We hang it down in those holes, fill the holes full of water. The water helps magnify the force of the explosive.
It's a non-electric fire. Cuts it off. Just a primer. Goes this. Hooks on that. This is what's called a lead line. Got a little connector, ties them together.
We set that explosive charge off, and it frees those blocks or creates a small crack which separates them from the loaf that's sitting there. Then we'll drill holes by hand, use steel wedges to break those loose into the final blocks that we need that are roughly 10 foot by 5 foot by 5 foot.
It's hard to imagine this work being done in the days of mule or horsepower. Nowadays, computers have taken over some of the back-breaking work. These giant electronically controlled saws are programmed to do their repetitive work largely unattended for hours at a time. Despite all the computerized machinery, there are still some things that are just better done by hand. And it's the hand of a skilled craftsman that is needed to give final shape and finish to the custom-designed pieces of whatever sculpture or fountain or monument a customer has ordered.
We call it the big shed just because it's a big building. Within that building, we use handheld products to fabricate mostly custom products to go on buildings. The people who work in here are skilled individuals who've learned their trade over the years of working here, and they have a lot of experience. Our curbing division fabricates roadway and bridge curbing. A lot of it goes to the New England states Because they use quite a bit of salt on the roads there, concrete curb is deteriorated in about 2 to 3 years due to the salt. But the granite is impervious to the salt, so that's the reason that they choose to use granite on their projects in the New England states. We have a small crushing operation here. If we didn't have this crusher, we basically would eventually be under a mountain of waste and have no way of getting rid of it.
Wherever you may have traveled, you are very likely to have seen the products of this quarry on public display. Downtown Raleigh, the Memorial Bridge in Washington, D.C., and one of the most famous, the Wright Brothers Memorial at Kill Devil Hills.
The quarry deposit itself is approximately 59 acres, 8,000 feet deep, 7 miles long, and a mile wide.
Despite the many millions of tons of granite that have been extracted so far, the company can take comfort in the fact that they won't be running out of rock anytime soon.